Hello, everybody. I hope y'all are doing good. Today, I'm going to be making my homemade taco soup. So let's get started. First thing you'll need 2 cans of pinto beans, 2 cans of black beans. You'll also need 2 cans of Rotel diced tomatoes and green chilies. Now, I like chilies. You'll also need 1 can of whole kernel corn. Now, as I mentioned a little bit ago, I like green chilies. So, unfortunately, I couldn't find bigger cans, so I bought 4 of the small, mild diced green chilies. You'll also need 2 packs of taco seasoning, and unfortunately, I didn't have the ranch seasoning. That's another part of the recipe. You need the ranch seasoning. I didn't have any on hand with me. So, frankly, I just decided instead of adding it in, I was just going to omit it. But you don't have to technically have the ranch seasoning if you don't want to. Moving on to the next ingredient. I choose 2 pounds of 80/20 beef. You can go leaner if you want a much leaner meat, that's fine. And then diced onions or chopped onions, however you want to classify it. We had frozen onions because we chopped some up and we had so many. So I'd kind of cheated a little bit and just did frozen onions. Hey, look, it works. Now, next thing you're going to want to do is make sure you take a can opener and open up all your cans. It'll save you time in the long run. You're going to need a strainer. Of course, I didn't push the strainer all the way down, but I didn't realize that until a little bit later. But as you can see, I'm pouring in my beans into the strainer. Now, I like to alternate them. When I put my beans in the strainer, I also put the can of corn in there as well to drain the water and that off of the corn. As you can see right here, there we go. And it was right here when I realized that something's not adding up. So, yeah, I started fingering around with it, and I dropped it. Then I realized I didn't push this all the way down, did I? Nope. Boop, boop. There it is. Yep, see? That's when I realized I didn't push it all the way down. Now, I also go ahead and continue on pouring the rest of the beans that I have, my other 2 cans of black beans and pinto beans. Now, I didn't have 2 more cans. I only had 2, if you notice from the beginning. So, pour the rest of the can of beans in there. Get it all out of there like that. Get on. Get. There we go. Then what you got to do is you got to take that faucet. Of course, I had to rinse my hands off. I spilled a little bit of the pinto bean juice on my hand. That's why it took a little while earlier for me to get the can of corn. But you go to rinse the beans and the corn best you can. Rinse it real good. Get all the juices and stuff out of there. You know, what I usually like to do is I like to move it around a little bit with my hands. You know, they're clean. I washed them beforehand. Don't worry about it. But I like to move it around a little bit and then rinse it all real good until the water's pretty much all nice and clear. And then once you've got that done, you can just let those sit and drain in the sink. That part is all done. Now, moving on, you want to get your stove set up on low heat, and then make sure you got a nice big pot. First thing we're going to do, add the onions. That's right, we're going to add all the onion in there, and we're going to start cooking the onion down real good. Like as you can see right here, we got it all nice and cooked down a little bit, and now we're adding the beef. Now, add the beef in with the onion. It's not going to hurt nothing because it's all going to the same place. Just start breaking it down with this here meat masher. Yeah, I said meat masher. I don't know the technical name for it, and I don't care. This here be my meat masher. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these. If you don't have one, I would recommend getting one. They come in handy in a pinch when breaking down ground beef. So break up the ground beef like so. Get it all nice and broken up. Shake it off, get all the good stuff in there. And then you're going to let this sit and cook. Now, yes, there's a lot of grease in there, but save it. The reason for that is because you're going to start adding all your seasonings to this. And of course, seasoning in my second taco packet didn't want to come out. There. Now, you'll add your seasonings, and then, of course, me personally, I like to add some ground turmeric. So I always add a little ground turmeric to mine. That's optional, of course. That is an optional thing. You don't have to add any if you don't want to. But I like to add that. And of course, if you do ground turmeric, you also need to add black pepper. Ground black pepper. It's an activator. So you got to make sure you add a little bit of black pepper to it. Don't need a whole ton. Just enough to activate the turmeric. And then you'll give this a good stir in. Get it all stirred in nice and good. Like, this is why I said keep the grease. It's not going to hurt nothing. If you go leaner, you're going to have less grease. But I like 80-20, like I said. So you'll get this all stirred up nice and good, like just like you see right here. I'm getting it all nice and stirred. Sorry for the camera. Sorry for the camera angle. I'm doing this all by myself. So I'm literally trying to hold a phone in one hand and record in the other. Record one hand and cook with the other. Now that we got that out of the way, as you can see, I just added 2 cans of Rotel tomatoes and green chilies. Now I'm adding my 4 little bitty cans of diced green chilies to the mix. Now, of course, like every recipe, you can modify this to however you prefer. You can make it spicier, you can take out the onions and the peppers or whatever. If you don't like something, that's fine. You can take it all out. But as you see, I put all the stuff in. I'm mixing it all up. This is how I make my taco soup. And it is bomb. Now, you got those all mixed in nice and good like so. You want to get those flavors kind of marinated together. And then, once you get that all nice and stirred up like such, you want to shake that all off real good like, right? Now the next thing we're going to do is move on over to our sink where our corn and bean mixture is. And we're going to take that and dump the whole thing straight into the pot. Now remember, you're going to need a big pot because if you have a small pot, you're not going to be able to get any of the water in for the soup. Now go ahead, once you get your beans and corn in there, give it a nice, good mix. Mix it up real good like, you see? Just like this. Of course, it'd be easier if I could hold the actual pot. But again, I'm doing this one-handed because I'm trying to record with one hand and stir with the other. Now, I got it stirred up as the best I could. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 8 cups of water. So, again, this part is pretty much self-explanatory. We're just going to fill up 4 cups of water here. And then, poof, dump it in here like so. And do that one more time. Of course, you know, this time I was smart and I decided to set it down on the divider there. And then once you get 4 more cups of water, that's 8 total cups of water. And then we'll dump that in there just like so. Ta-da! Now we'll go ahead and we'll give that a good little stir here. Got to make sure we get all the good flavors going throughout the whole thing. Yep, just like so. Give it a nice good stir, and then once that's stirred in real good, just like so, you'll tap off your little spoonula there and turn the heat up. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to bring this to a nice rolling boil. So put the lid on. Well, when I put the lid on, I always leave just a little bit of space for all the steam and stuff to come out. It's always important. Now that it's at a rolling boil, you want to go ahead and remove the lid so that it releases a lot of that steam, and then go ahead and, apparently I put it back on. I need to, I guess. Go ahead and turn down the heat to low, as you can see there, and let it sit and simmer. And after it's done simmering, serve it up. Hope you enjoy.